Storms over the last several weeks. Some East Texas residents are once again in cleanup mode. As KLTV7's Jamie Boyan reports, although several structures in Rusk County were damaged in Friday's storm, most of the fallen trees missed buildings.
Trees are down across Rusk County. Fire Marshal Patrick Dooley says this storm took a slightly different track than April's hailstorm, which moved east to west.
This one kind of went more northwest and pushed down towards the southeast and around.
Large hardwood trees were downed at Henderson High School. Fortunately, they were nowhere near buildings. Dooley says the big problem was trees on power lines.
We were down for a while here in the city and the county. But the linemen have been awesome. I mean, they have worked their tails off trying to get everything back up as fast as they can, safely as they can.
But not all buildings were spared.
Some trees on houses, some roofs moved, blown off houses, just a whole lot of different damage-wise.
A house on 4th Street in Henderson still had a tree on it. Cleanup and repair had not begun there yet, although at Brooks Country Feed and Seed, a partially torn-off roof had a temporary repair. And today, Dooley was on electricity patrol.
Making sure our more vulnerable buildings are back up, talking about our nursing homes and stuff like that, which most of all those were back up yesterday, which worked out very well.
County road crews repairing oil-top roads had to clear many trees before they could get back to that project. And county residents have a lot of cleaning up to do, from picking up limbs to clearing large pine trees.
The National Weather Service has told us this is a straight line wind event that we had. They didn't see any rotation in it at all.
Dooley says residents are still getting roofs repaired from April's hailstorm.
People are trying to still recover from that, and then we have this next round come through of just heavy, strong winds of storm winds, and they're back at it again.
And although most power is back up, linemen were still working on restoring power to everyone. Jamie Boyan, KLTV 7 News.
Dooley tells us there were no injuries reported as a result of that storm.